Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. It's your boy, Mr. Degenerate, back at it again for another video. And oh man, the fucking Batman. Holy shit, the fucking Batman. This movie, man. Ah, woo, Jesus, Jesus, what a movie. This is. I felt like while watching this movie, I felt like I was watching not a comic book movie. I don't even feel like I was watching a cinema. I was watching art at its finest, man. I felt like I went to an art exhibit, and so happened it was a Batman exhibit. And this is art at its finest, man. This movie is so fucking good, man. It blows everything out of the water. Everything out of the water, man. And I knew this movie was gonna be good. Because Matt Reeves is a talented director, so I knew it was gonna be good. I was like, this movie's in safe hands. But man, I was not expecting them to nail it. I was not expecting a whole fucking run. I was not expecting greatness. Greatness, baby. This movie is everything I wanted. Ever since I watched Daredevil season 1, I said I wanted a hard-boiled detective noir Batman. A Batman that is undefined. A Batman that is unhinged. A Batman that is raw at its finest. Everything screams raw in this movie, and that's what I got, man. A raw Batman, an angry Batman that doesn't give a fuck. And I gotta give tons of prop to all the actors, from the guy who plays Penguin, Colin Farrell. I didn't even know that was Colin Farrell until I saw the credits. Zoe Kravitz is fucking Catwoman. I thought she killed it. I think she's one of the best Catwomans I've seen in a long time. Like, her physicality and her banter between her and Bats is so good. But the biggest praise, and Commissioner Gordon is really good as well. I love his relationship with Batman. It feels like a real partnership, something I've never seen in a Batman movie before. But man, can we give a round of applause to our boy Robert Pattinson? Can we get a huge round of applause to Robert Pattinson? Robert Pattinson fucking killed it as Batman. He fucking killed it. I knew ever since I watched Good Time, I was like, this motherfucker's gonna do it. He's gonna kill it. He's gonna kill it. I believe in Robert Pattinson. And he fucking nailed it. With just his eye motions alone and the way how he moves in that suit, is by far the best interpretation of Batman I've seen in a long time. Between Michael Keaton, between Ben Affleck, Robert Pattinson's gonna stand strong around them. Man, he fucking nailed it, man. Everything about this Batman is fucking cool. And again, I can go on and talk about the things I like. I could talk about how Gotham City this is the best rendition of Gotham City I've ever seen. I can talk about how, in terms of the film, how beautiful the shots are. I could talk about the fucking score that I bang 24/7 because it's fucking dope. I can talk about everything about this movie. But all I gotta say is that this movie is a fucking rock. Genius. Breath of fresh air. If I could give it a score, I would generally give it a 9 out of 10. Beautiful fucking movie. This movie is phenomenal. Wow. Masterclass at art, man. Like, I think this rivals The Dark Knight. I really do think so. That's how beautiful this movie is, and what it has to say about Batman as a character. Matt Reeves just gets Batman. There's one particular scene, and I talk about it on my Twitter. There's one particular scene where I just generally just said to myself, Matt Reeves gets Batman. and it's the scene with the flare. It's in the trailer. That scene and how it plays out, I was like, Matt Reeves gets Batman. This movie is just a masterclass. But there was another tweet I put it up. I was thinking about it a lot, and I ultimately decided to make this video because of that tweet. And what I want to do is say that as much as I love DC, and as much as I love Marvel, this movie shits on everything they do. Especially what the fuck Warner Brothers is doing with their DCEU. And it came to me that I would rather DC, Warner Brothers, just say fuck it. We're erasing the whole universe and putting all the characters in the Matt Reeves universe. Because this universe is so interesting. It is so dark. It is so raw. Everybody in this movie has anger and this rawness to them. But they're so hopeful and optimistic and feel tangible. And I was like, man, wouldn't it be like to see the Superman equivalent to this Batman? What would a year 1, year 2 Superman be? And I was thinking in my head, well, what comic book would they use? Like, make it all American alien Superman. That story, man. I would love to see something like that in this universe. What about a Wonder Woman, a young year 1, year 2 Wonder Woman who is more of a warrior compared to everybody else, because she grew up in a society with women who's all warriors. How would that be like? And I was just sitting there theory crafting, and I was ultimately trying to figure out, well, why don't I like the DCEU? And why I think the DCEU is kind of meh. Like, why am I connected with this universe that only has one fucking movie when the DCEU has a bunch? And I ultimately came to the conclusion a lot of that has to stem with the 8 years of dealing with this universe. So I think the biggest thing, and there's a few things. I think number one, the reason why I'm not connected with the DCEU is because, one, of Warner Brothers' shitty decisions. And I think this all stems back from the moment they decided to hire Zack Snyder. Now, Snyder fans, I'm gonna need y'all to hold your horses. I'm gonna need y'all to stop. I understand that, people really love Snyder's interpretation of his characters. And I really understand and get why people really like him. But holy shit, when they hired Zack, they had this man just come in and do whatever the fuck he wanted to do. And when you're creating a universe and you don't have characters, at least for me, you don't have characters you can get behind or care for or understand their plight, and it's not told very well, it falls apart. And again, I think Zack is a talented director, and I genuinely think the way how he looked at the DC characters is very cynical. And that's fine if it's an Elseworld story, but these are characters you're supposed to be following and the mainstream audience is supposed to be following, and I just could not connect with anybody. I don't connect with his Batman, and I don't connect with his Superman. And I would argue I don't really connect with Wonder Woman until Patty Jenkins did her own thing. And when you have these characters that don't want to be heroes and they're jaded as fuck and they're so reluctant to be heroes, why would you want to follow them? And I think that's where Zack ran into the trouble. Granted, I will say when he did the Snyder Cut, he did make improvements, but man, like, they were unthing. And the simple fact that Warner Brothers decided to keep that vision for so long was baffling to me. Was fucking baffling. And also, it didn't help that Warner Brothers didn't want to take their time to really explore this universe. If I was an executive, I would be like, Zach, all right, you did Man of Steel. Well, let's do Man of Steel 2, and then leads into Batman v Superman. Then do Wonder Woman. Really flesh this universe out. They didn't want to do that, so they rushed everything, and so now everything's a bumbled mess in the universe. Everything's a bumbled mess, and I genuinely think that hurt DC in the long run. I genuinely believe that, because now none of the movies are fully connected, and that's the second problem. The interconnectedness of the DCEU is wonky as fuck. Recently, it's gotten better due to Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad. Those are kind of connected. But everything else is like, oh, you can take it or leave it. You don't have to watch the Harley Quinn, aka Birds of Prey movie. You don't have to watch Aquaman if you don't need to. And it's like, but yet then they'll kind of reference that they fought Steppenwolf. And it's like, well, if you didn't see Justice League, you wouldn't have known that. And then there's other times where you would think like, oh, well, are you going to reference David Ayer's Suicide Squad? No, but we're going to have the actors come back. And it's like, so is it connected or not? Like, just this bumbling fucking mess. And it's like, it's kind of hard to root or care for this overarching universe. And then there's movies that I literally thought that they shouldn't have canceled, like New Gods. Like, you established Steppenwolf, but you're gonna cancel New Gods to really flesh that world up. You could have had Darkseid and get to know him. In fact, I thought that was a better idea than what the fuck Marvel did, and just have us like 10 years wait until we got the Thanos. But that could have been cool. A New Gods movie where we explore Darkseid and his mindset and where he's at in his life. That would have been fucking dope. Canceled that. Trenches, which is supposed to be this horror Black Manta movie, which would have been dope, because Black Manta in the movie, I felt barely got time to really get any time to really build, because we were so busy dealing with Ord and his shit, and you cancel that. Like, just idiotic decisions at Warner Brothers constantly, and it's so fucking annoying. In terms of a shared universe, what they're trying to do with a shared universe, and it's like, at this point, like, Peacemaker came out, and spoilers for that show, and they kind of hint that the Suicide Squad has been defected because Waller's daughter outed her, and I was just like, okay, I guess. I don't care. Like, I gave no shits at that point. They had the Justice League pop up in the show, and I'm just like, oh, that's cool. Oh, we're missing Henry Cavill. No Henry Cavill. I've been asking for Henry Cavill to come back for multiple times and have him in a new Superman movie. Hell, it doesn't even have to. It don't even have to be really super connected to the DCEU. Have him do a Man of Steel 2 or a brand new Man of Steel movie. Nope. Couldn't get Gal Gadot to reprise the role, but you had Aquaman and you had Shazam. No Cyborg. You know, you couldn't bring the actor who got Cyborg, and we all know why you're not gonna get him, because Warner Brothers being incompetent and being stupid as fuck, not listening to his complaints, the actor's complaints about how Whedon handled shit, and just kind of ignored him, whatever. And it just feels messy. And that's how it feels. It just feels messy. It feels sloppy, man. It feels so sloppy, bruh. And I think the third thing I don't like about the DCEU, and this is why I'm just like, man, just bring it over to fucking the Matt Reeves verse. It's like, bro, like I don't care for characters all too much. again, the characters I do care about are not coming back or not reprising their roles. So Cyborg's not coming back, and I really enjoyed Cyborg. Ben Affleck's Batman's not coming back, which is understandable due to Ben being done with all that shit. And Henry Cavill's not coming back. So it's like characters I extremely care about are not there anymore. Now, on the flip side, you look at the characters that they do have. Wonder Woman was cool up until Wonder Woman 1984. Like, I do not care for Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot's interpretation of the character anymore. They botched it, and also I feel very offended of 1984. Not going to get into that. Maybe when I do a tier list, I'll get into that. Shazam is okay. Aquaman is alright. By Jason Momoa as Aquaman all too much, but whatever. And I sure as hell don't buy his relationship with Amber Heard. And that's another thing. Amber Heard's kind of fucked shit up, so it's like whatever. With her whole situation with her marriage and whatnot, which is fine. Shit happens, but yeah. What else? The Suicide Squad members, I guess, are the only things I care. Harley Quinn, I care for. But are we gonna get another Harley Quinn movie, or is Harley Quinn like kind of like in the background? Like, I don't know. Like, this shit is just bonkers. Like, this whole universe is all over the fucking place, and it's like Walter Harada has stated multiverse, and I guess you can say, well, oh, the Batman is a multiverse movie and whatever, and that's fine, and that's cool. But if we gotta compare DC to Marvel, I think what DC's doing with multiverse is kind of way more compelling. If we're being honest, even though I do think this movie is fucking dope, and it's the best thing that came out of DC in a while, next to the Suicide Squad. A lot of the DCEU movies don't feel all that original. They just feel style. They just have way more style than Marvel movies, but they still feel like Marvel movies. And that's because they play it extremely safe. A lot of these movies play it extremely safe. So you can sit there and say, well, they have creative vision and they can get these directors to do whatever they want, but it's like, these directors are just putting out Marvel-esque films. They isn't doing like something like Matt Reeves that's literally showing us a comic book but yet realistic take of Batman and reinventing the wheel a little bit. It isn't like Joker that generally has something to say about us as people. And it isn't like something like, if I'm going to compare it to something in the DCEU where I guess the Suicide Squad would be the only thing. But even then, the Suicide Squad, that movie feels like Guardians of the Galaxy just toned up, like, in terms of violence and whatnot. And I gotta be real, is any of these DCEU movies, other than Aquaman, selling on the level of what Snyder has done? I doubt it. I'm not looking at numbers right now, but I doubt it. So it's just kind of like the thing of just like, I would rather have a universe that I care for. And when people say, well, what is it about the fucking Reeves universe that you care so much about it? And I sit there and I say, while watching the movie, I was like, what is it that I care about this universe? It's that the corruption of Gotham and how dirty and disgusting Gotham is. Everybody in Gotham's angry. That's why I say the movie's raw, because everyone has raw emotions running through this movie. From Bruce, Selina, Edward Nygma, like everybody has this rawness and this rage and this anger. There's a reason why the whole marketing for this movie is all in red. All you see is red because everyone's so vengeful and angry. And Batman in this movie is not even a real hero. He's a vigilante. He's just he's trying to do the right thing, but he's more or less a vigilante. he even says it in the movie, like he's been doing this shit for 2 years and nothing's changed. And by the end of the movie, he realizes, and I'm not trying to spoil anything, but his arc in this movie as Bruce Wayne, which I find it funny people say that the Bruce Wayne stuff is weak, but I generally think you guys don't read comic books, but that's the second point. His arc in this movie is literally him finding out that I need to be more than just this angry, dark vengeance character. I need to give hope to the people. And again, no spoilers, but it's shown in the trailer, that scene with the flashlight. Again, it's so beautiful. And I was just like, man, like, I just want a DC movie to capture that essence and the feel of what I'm looking for, which is realism, but comic booky, and I care for characters. I care for the world. I want to see what's gonna happen to Gotham now that the status quo has changed. Hell, I want to visit outside of Gotham. What is it like? What's a Superman in this universe like? What's a Wonder Woman in this universe like? Hell, motherfucker, I would love to see what's out in the stars. Is there Green Lanterns? And that's another thing. We still haven't gotten Green Lanterns, and it's been 8 fucking years. And again, I know I have a few friends. One friend in particular who's a huge DC fan. You know, no shades. I ain't trying to show no shades. But I know DC fans are gonna be like, well, patience, they're coming and whatnot. And it's like, yeah, DC's at a better spot. And maybe all this ranting and raving is not for me. DC's at a better spot. And I'm never gonna hold you guys on it. DC is at a wonderful fucking spot. But do I care for what they have lined up? And the stuff that I do care about is not there. So do I care about this universe? Do I care for a Flash? No. I don't give a fuck about Ezra Miller's Flash. And I love Flash more than I like Batman. I'm not even a Batman's fan, and I like Flash more. I don't care for Ezra Miller's fucking Flash. No. Do I care for Rock's Black Adam movie? Not really. Don't really care because I've waited like fucking 10 years for this movie. Maybe it's gonna be good. I'm not disputing that. But in terms of a universe, of the DCEU universe, I could give less of a fuck about it. So, how I would do it, erase everything. Once Flashpoint comes out, erase everything, and then you find out half of the shit's taking place in the Matt Reeves universe. And our new Batman is fucking Robert Pattinson. And everything else is part of the DC Reverse. That's it. Call it a day. Because I do think you could get supernatural and crazy shit in this universe. Just how fucking crazy this Batman is. So, I don't know. That's just me. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm tired of hearing excuses. I'm tired of hearing, well, you're not being patient enough. It's like, I've been patient for 8 fucking years. How much more patience do I need to be? Man? Like, it's annoying dealing with this universe. And it's just like, whatever. Maybe the movies are going to be great. But for right now, all I have to say is give me my Aquaman. Give me my other movies, man. And I'll live along. Also, before anybody asks, yeah. I know what everybody's going to say in the comment section. Oh, well, you're just a Marvel fanboy. You just like Marvel. You praise Marvel more than DC, and it's like, shut the fuck up. I'm not even excited for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, so let's just stop there. Marvel hasn't really been exciting me. The last movie that excited me from them was Spider-Man No Way Home, and that's only because I was generally so cynical. So please stop. Don't put that in the comment section. Anywho, that's it with this little rant. I'm gonna wait and count my blessings to hear more information on the Penguin show, and the Arkham show, and that's it. That's all I care about from DC, and that's about it. This is gonna wrap up the video. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you're new to the channel, please comment, rate, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And I'll catch you next time. Later.